Hi friends, it's Deb. I am doing the February update of the Enjoy Your Eyeshadows project pan. This was created by myself, but I'm not taking full credit for it. At the end of last year, a bunch of us were just talking about how we're kind of burned out on the way that we're panning things, and we just wanted to do things differently this year. So I tossed a few ideas out to the group, and this one stuck. And the people that gave me really good feedback on this one were Danny, Jen, Kim, and Shelly. So those were the original people that said they would do this with me. And since we've posted, we've had a few other people join in, and I will have everybody listed in my description box. This starts on the 4th of January and it ends on the 31st of December, almost a full year, not quite. Monthly updates on the 4th. And the rules basically are there are no rules. You just use whatever the heck you want for an entire month. You come back, you do your update, bring what you used in the month, and let's just talk about it. If you are really cool, you can insert pictures of the looks that you did, whatever. And I do want to kind of know your peak and your pit for the month. What was your favorite shadow or palette that you used? And what was your least favorite? I don't have mine written down, so we are just going to kind of figure that out as I talk about these. Are we ready? Okay. Pan That palette was created by Amber F. I'm not doing a Pan That palette per se, but I do have a focus palette. So mine is the Norvina. A few of us are doing this one this year. Myself, Jaylon, Valerie, and Kim. And then Jen is using the big Norvina. And is that everybody doing this one with us? I think. My most used palette for the month, mine is messy, but it hasn't gotten a ton of views. I have the white base shade in another project for 20 or 30 uses. So I do pull this out every time I do my eyeshadow just to use the base shade. I used it 11 times this round. And I have used a few other shades just for crease shades, whatever. I don't think that I have used this to do as a standalone palette. I don't think I have. I brought out both of my Scooby-Doo and Glamlight palettes, and I used both of them to create one look. These are not standalone palettes to me, but I love them. I used the greens out of this one, and you know dang well I went for some of those purples. So it's like a purple green look one day. I really liked how it turned out, but I did have to bring in other things. These are cute. I love Scooby-Doo. I'm at the point in my life where I really get hit in the feels for nostalgia, so I had to have them. It would not be an eyeshadow update, I don't think, for me if I didn't have in the Flight Club palette. If I ever do an update and this palette is not in here, that is my cry for help. I am refilming this because in my last one, I realized that this and the Nightshade palette were very similar. And I was like, oh, I should do swatches and compare them and blah, blah, blah. And so I went off camera and I did a bunch of swatches and marked down the shades that I swatched and blah, blah, blah. And then realized that you can't even get this palette anymore. So what? Anyway, they're very similar. If you have this one, enjoy it. But if you don't have either and you're like, ooh, I wish I had this one, you can get this one. And if I had to recommend one of them, you know, I will always recommend the Flight Club palette. The formula is just, this is me in a palette. Love it. I reached for both of my Flower Beauty palettes this month, the Jungle Lights and the Desert Lights. Jungle Lights, I used the purple shade in one look. It was kind of hunky chunky and kind of like a drier formula to work with. Wasn't my favorite, but it was pretty. In the Desert Lights, I just used the shade up here, Mirage. It was really pretty. Yeah, it was pretty. I'm happy to have both of these. I need to make more room. The two smaller palettes that I used this month, I have this in a project, the Natasha Denona Mini Pastel. I'm going to declutter this one. The first time I used it, my eyes were on fire. Took my makeup off right away. I used it again in the last 5 days. Exact same thing. I can't do it. I can't do that to myself. I am sending this one to Danny. This one is just being completely decluttered from my collection. This little palette surprised me. It was cute. It is the Too Faced Light My Fire. I have gotten rid of all of my big palettes. I'm pretty sure. I think I've decluttered all of my big 10 palettes, but I'm collecting these little ones now because they're so freaking cute. This reminds me of the Artist Couture palette, and I cannot remember the name of it. Caliente? The Artist Couture Caliente palette. This made a really beautiful look. This would be really fun to pair with the Glamlight Taco palette for a sunset look. I might do that soon. I got this palette from Danny for Christmas. It's the Cosmic Brushes Serenity palette. I had never heard of this brand, and I opened this palette and I was kind of confused, and I'm like, I've never heard of this. And I tried it, and it's in the video. I had good feedback on it about my blue eyeshadow look. I created that with these shades in here. It was stunning, and this formula was so easy to work with. Like, if you can get your hands on this one, do it. Stunning, like blown away by this. What I have on my eyes today, which I'm also shocked at how much I like it. Oh my gosh. Okay. I didn't order it when it launched. I didn't order it through the holidays. And then there was a sale a couple of weeks ago. And I'm telling you, I'm really in that phase of nostalgia, like just thinking like childhood and like late 70s and 80s and like all the things that just really brought me joy. Strawberry Shortcake was like at the top of that list. And the color story in here, I'm not good with pink and red type eyes, but I feel like my look came out okay today. I used the dark green in my outer corner, and I feel like my look just kind of did itself. That is what I need in a palette. 10 out of 10. I used 3 eyeshadows in pots. The first one, you know, is always going to be Ice Dream. I am not going to open it because every time I do, little flakies come out. I mixed some Fix Plus in with it and tried to mash it back down, and it's still having a struggle. I will try Duraline one more time, and then this has to be decluttered. This isn't a project to finish, but if I don't finish this one, I've made a lot of progress. I had to scrunch it all back into the middle. If I don't finish this one, I do have a backup that I can roll into the project for uses. And then I also use my Cleona fruit lighters that came with the Dragon Fruit collection. I use both of these as inner corner highlights and bring it up onto the third part of the lid. I have Tropico, which is like the more orangey pinky. I don't know how to describe it. It's freaking delicious. And then my favorite, you know, is Pitaya, the more purpley one. And when I filmed this the first time, I held it up and the whole thing fell out. The entire, it fell out, and I was like, maybe I will try to insert that clip in here somewhere, but I was just like, that is my love right there, and I can't believe it played me like that. I was so stunned. I just sat there for a second, like, did that really just happen? And then I went into like crisis mode, like tried to save what I could. Cannot freaking believe it. Okay, those are what I've used out of palettes and like little pots. Let me make some room and I will pull out the singles that I've used. I reached for Alter Ego. This is from Terra Moons. That's just naughty. And then this one is Purple Clouds from Terra Moons. Oh my word. It is like that cool tone icy purple that I absolutely cannot get enough of. Here's UFO. This more like reddy purple. I feel like I'm recreating part of my Menagerie palette right here. Stunning. I definitely have some favorites. And last but not least is Big Bang. This one's freaking sick. Oh my gosh. Like, is this even legal? Is it though? Oh, you're not even going to see the shift on that. Like in the camera, it's green, but I just see like purple. Like dark, dark purple. And then I did use one from Glaminatrix, and it is called Fairy Garden. I needed an inner corner highlight one day. And this one here, just, ooh, right here. This like minty green that just is like, pow, right in your, oh. Thank you, Danny and Lisa. You guys really, really chose amazing colors for me. I have the single bundle from Sydney Grace. It's the Sydney Grace and Mel Thompson, her version of the, I think it was the retro palette. I used this one the other day as like an inner corner shade. It's this beautiful like greeny shifty yellow, and oh my god, it's so freaking beautiful. Oh my god, on the inner corner, and just yeah. And then today on my lower lash line, I used the really dark shadow in the Strawberry Shortcake palette as like a liner, and then I took the shade from Sydney Grace called Honeydew, and I just kind of like blew that out a bit. That's what she said. And oh, beautiful. Anyway, those are the eyeshadows that I used this month. If you want me to do pictures, like take pictures of my eye looks for next month, I could try to do that. I'm just super awkward taking selfies, like especially if I have to have like one eye closed and the other. I just like, it's not a cute thing, okay? And like, even if I got pictures, like I don't know that I would want to post them anywhere. But dang, you know. Oh, I didn't tell you my peak and my pit. Oh, please. Okay, we're gonna do bad news first. My pit, I think, is pretty easy to see coming. The Natasha Denona mini pastels. Just, it's boring. It's like nothing in this inspires me in any way, shape, or form. My eyes literally felt like I had poured acid into them when I used this. I don't know what's in here, but I don't like it. This is being sent on to Danny. And my peak, this was really hard. I had two palettes that could have easily taken the #1 spot for this month, but if I'm being honest with myself, I have to give it to Strawberry Shortcake. Just today when I was using it, I was on FaceTime with Danny. We were doing our makeup, and I said, I'm going to use this palette today, but I'll probably have to take my makeup off and try again. Like, I fully expected to not know what to do with pinks and reds and have to start over. And my look did itself today. Is it the best pink and red look you've ever seen? No. Is it good? Yeah. And it's this formula. It's not me. It just, yeah. This was an easy win for the month. And I love everything about it. I love the color story. The formula in this is absolutely phenomenal. The packaging, you know, just hits me right in my little 80s child heart. So yeah. Anyway, that is our first update. What do you think? How'd we do? I don't know if we'll use the same amount of palettes next month, but I had a lot of fun this month, and I hope you enjoy the update. So thank you for giving me some of your time. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you're having a really good day or night, and I love you, and you know I do. Let's not fight about it. Okay, love you, bye. Mostly his inner corner shades. That whole thing just fell out. Man down. That was Pattaya. That was like my dream. Like in the pan shade. Is that why it fell out? Because it's me in a pan? Listen, Linda, I need you to come back, okay? I need you to come back. Listen. You will not believe how lucky I am. We saved most of it. Here is Pitaya. Don't you do it. Because I'm a lady. Hi friends, it's Deb. I am doing the January, no, just kidding. I'm a fucking liar. I'm an idiot. I've already filmed this video and I have swatches all over the place and the video was just kind of a mess. And when I think of the time it would take me to edit that kind of a shit show versus just refilming, it makes more sense to just refilm. So we're gonna do that as soon as I can button up my sleeve that is now covered in eyeshadow and glitter. I love that for me in my dry clean only top. I'm not mature enough to have dry clean only clothing, but somehow I forget to check labels when I'm purchasing stuff. I'm just like, ooh, cute, add to cart. And okay. Let's just fucking do it. Okay.